I feel super comfortable in speaking for all Doechii fans and locking arms. Yeah, that's you. Yeah, you. Come on, let's lock arms right here. We got him. We got him.
Got him. We got him.
As it relates to all the backlash that she's been getting from the likes of Adin, Ross, DJ Akademiks, and all of the people who've just been hating on her for no good reason. Now look, I do want to keep a healthy level of skepticism when it comes to Doechii, because I do think that's healthy when in terms of her music, and say while I am calling cap on the botting aspect or the industry plant narrative, I want to say just as quickly as she's risen to the top with the Grammy win that she had for her Alligator Bites Never Heal, I do think that same industry and also the fans can just as quickly tear her down if that debut album doesn't hit like we all think it will. And that's why in this video, I'm gonna break down my expectations about that debut album, talk about some of those rumors that we've been hearing, and really just dispel all of these industry plant narratives that we've seen about Doechii in recent past. By the way, guys, my name is Doechii, and I make videos like this every single week, or at least I'm planning to. So if you enjoy videos like this, hit that like button, that hype button, and run this video up for your boy. Also hit that subscribe button if you want to see my channel elevate and get to that top. All right, guys. Oh, shoot. Damn. Before I forget, make sure you follow me on the socials at UCHAYVA to keep up with everything that I typically rant about. All right, guys. Now let's get into this. Okay. Let's talk about Doechii, the Swamp Princess. Now look, I know some of her detractors will try to make it seem like she was cultivated in a laboratory of some sort and nobody has any history of her pre-Alligator Bites Never Heal and her Grammy win, but that's just false, guys. It's just false. And so let's take a look back at her history a little bit. Now I did some digging, and really this goes as far back as her SoundCloud days in 2016, where she had tracks like Girls years before a label even thought about signing her. She even dropped a project called COVID Music Sessions Volume 1 in 2019 that almost nobody ever talks about. Next, let's move on to her breakout EP called Oh, the Places You'll Go in August of 2020. Now, this was a self-funded project where the viral light bulb first switched on for Doechii, and her top 3 songs from this era were Yucky Blucky, Fruitcake, and also Black Girl Memoir, and I mentioned before Spooky Coochie. These are all really integral parts of the story of Doechii. Next, we got to talk about the TDE era. Now, once she signed with TDE, she obviously leveled up her entire ecosystem with the EP she dropped in 2022 called She, Her, Black. And I think the notoriety factor was something that she was sort of lacking earlier in her career. But when she did link up with Kodak Black on the song called What It Is, I think that it kind of really gave Doechii the ability to hit that commercial space that she hadn't seen before, where she was obviously getting that cosign from a proven guy in Kodak Black and really being the bridge between the alternative rap world and that mainstream world. And I think Kodak really provided a lot of that for her. Now, overall, I'd say the big 3 from this particular era in 2022 has to be that song with Kodak Black, another song called Persuasive featuring SZA, and I'm Nice. Now, we gotta talk about the mixtape, the one that had everybody talking in 2024 called Alligator Bites Never Heal. And I want to make a distinction that this was a mixtape and not an album. A lot of people get that twisted for some odd reason, but nonetheless, it debuted at number 124 on the Billboard charts before surging to number 10 after the popularity and the virality of songs like Denial is a River, Nissan Altima, and Catfish. And so I think it's really important to note that history of Doechii, and you know, hey, she does have a history. Maybe y'all are not familiar, but putting you on game now. Don't say nobody didn't tell you. All right, now let's talk about this industry plant narrative versus the real pressure that I think Doechii is under. Now, here's why the industry plant claims are bogus, in my opinion, because I hear the noise from Adin Ross and Akademiks and really all of the people who are on Twitter and people who are her detractors.
Doechii rant? Oh, dude, don't get me started on that. Don't get me started on that industry plant. One thing about me is I'm not an industry plant. Doechii, the umbrella clip pissed me off. What an entitled, unintelligent piece of is, bro.
But to me, an industry plant doesn't have a 10-year history of independent struggle. To be honest with you, I think people confuse artist development with being a quote-unquote plant. And at the end of the day, TDE did their job, but the talent was likely there from the very beginning. In other words, the label is going to pour their gasoline to inflate and elevate their artists. So I don't think anybody's doing anything wrong in this situation. Again, if you're not familiar with her earlier work, that's fine. But don't say because you don't know about it and she just popped up out of nowhere, then she has to be an industry plant. I think that's complete nonsense. Now, here's my real concern about Doechii as a whole, and I'm consistent because I've been saying this from day one, and this is independent of her actual talent. I think there is a booby trap that artists get into when they're crowned too early. And this is really where my skepticism kicks in, because she's in a rare position where she's reached the mountaintop in getting a rap album of the year Grammy on her mixtape, not her debut album, her mixtape. And I don't want her to end up like Chance the Rapper, Roddy, Ricch, or even Cardi B, who are artists who hit massive peaks early in their career and spent years trying to live up to their initial highs. To me, the industry is quick to crown a new queen or king, but they are even quicker to discard you, and they are even quicker to discard it if the actual debut album doesn't change the world. Like everybody is probably gonna overly inflate and put unrealistic expectations on Doechii. And so I think that's fair. If you wanna say that's hate, so be it. I just think we gotta be careful on the amount of, crowning we do to these young artists. I think it's damn near a setup. But that is all the reason why I love what she just did by dropping her Girl Get Up single with SZA, which just made the Billboard charts. And she's shooting back at everybody who was a detractor. I mean, she literally says, and I quote, "I see it on the blogs, I see you in the chats." You know what I mean? Like, she sees all the hate, and I think that's a powerful thing, that she's claiming the energy that people are giving her, and she's clearly trying to use it for good. It's a bold move, but she's able to pull it off. More power to her at the end of the day. And also, my whole thing is this is the moment of truth for Doechii. Put all the gimmicks aside, put the botting aside. Not saying she's botting, but I'm saying put the narrative of botting aside. Put the industry plant rumors aside. Put all the bullshit aside. Can she move from being a mixtape star to becoming a permanent A-list superstar in not only rap, but also in music? My final thoughts are this. Look, I'm rooting for the talent that she possesses, but I'm very wary of the machine typically, because again, like I outlined before, this is nothing new. At the end of the day, if this debut isn't a 10 out of 10, the same people praising her will be the same people to say she was overhyped from the beginning, and man, why the hell did we put too much attention on her? We should have been propping up this artist over here. Man, Doechii ain't even that good. Mark my words, you can book it. You know it's coming. And so I think she is more than capable from a talent perspective to take this thing to the top. And so I want to see it happen. I really do. And so we'll see how TDE crafts and moves and what they actually end up packaging for the fans. I think it's going to be something special. I'm very curious to know how this thing turns out. And guess what? In 2026, I'm almost certain that we will all see, and we're going to put this whole conversation to bed, because at a certain point this year, all of them plant rumors is going to go away, or it will continue. But that is all based on how her debut album performs. We shall see. But what do you guys think? Are you excited to see what Doechii does next with her debut album, which is hopefully slated to drop at some point this year? Or do you think she's an industry plant like people keep saying she is? I don't know. Y'all let me know your thoughts in the comment. As always, once again, my name is Doechii. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.